Right. Good afternoon. Here we go again. Our current flight will take us from Shemya, where we last stopped. Can I see this? Yeah. Shemya in the Bering Sea. Why can't I zoom this out? Because I'm in the wrong window. And we will cross over to Russia, to Petropavlovsk, Yelizovo Airport. In FSX there was a great rendition of this by Aerostar, but no more, no less. But okay, it is what it is. Big trip. Heading 280 at 565 nautical miles, meaning roughly 3 hours and 15 minutes. Taking away from Shemya, and should be able to see a VR DME along the way at our destination. Nothing in between, so this is gonna be fun. 1097, 1090 and 1137. So let's prepare. I've got the engine warmers already in for about 15 minutes, so that should be good, should go. Let's see. Yeah, oil temp is just in the green now, so that will help. So first some lights, and also up here. Cabin lights on. Hello people. Okay, here we go. Fuel on. Oh, not on cross. Pump on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Close this. Crack this. And there she goes. The second one. And I'll also take the alternator in now to get a bit off the battery. Yeah, that's about it. Pump on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And there we are. Avionics, autopilot master. Oh, this is the wing I don't know how to operate yet. It's gonna beep like hell the whole time. Fine. Check. 14. 14. What did I say on frequencies? 109 and 13.7. My heading will be 280 magnetic. Meaning I can set this one also at I should be shooting straight out. If I can set this to 280. And I will do this the other way around. 113.7. That way, when I put this on 287, I'll get a from signal, and the radial I can follow out. I hear bad weather. It's a shame. Okay, I think we're all set. Good. Engine is running fine again. This is nice. And I need, of course, some cabin heat now. Propeller de-ice, pitot, cabin fan, cabin heat. This is all lighting. Put the fan too high. Defrost blower on. Pull these all open because we're still cold. Yeah, 3 degrees inside. But that'll warm up. That'll warm up. Okay. So towards here. So again we have a crosswind, a high one, 25 knots of crosswind. Right. Oh, that's right. I forgot to do the wheel configuration. Nose wheel overall. We'll do without. Taxi light on. And let's taxi out. Checking if my PRIP tool is running. Yes. So the flight will be registered for my virtual airline. Oil is nicely in the green, so is everything else. Is this working? Where's my taxiway? Is this the taxiway? Yeah. This is my taxiway. Pushing me to the left. A bit. 10. It's a long runway, so it'll suffice. Again, this will be a long flight over water, so I will probably pause the recording and come back to you when I'm in descent or something interesting happens, like, I don't know, dropping a cylinder. And here we are, landing lights on, strobes on. Quick check. Props. Props okay. Max okay. Let's line her up and head for the mainland. Finally. Here we go. Full throttle. Full throttle scene. Keep the aileron in the wind. And pull it in. There we go. Gear up. Flaps up. See already what the wind is doing. Blowing me far to the right. Climb settings 24. The manifold pressure 2400 RPM. Reset attitude, autopilot on. Can do it a bit steeper descent. Okay, let's see. This is all running smooth. Temps is coming up, so I'm gonna put the fan to low and the heater to roughly 50%. So it'll get nice and warm instead of fried. Taxi and landing lights off. You see this is way to the right, to the left, so we are drifting far out. So I'm gonna measure this out by setting my heading to 270 instead of 280. Instead of the 280 radial, I'm at the 295, 294, so I'm 15 degrees off. So again 5 degrees. Now if this keeps me at this radial, that means that I'm going the correct course on this radial. This should move back to 280 now. So I'm gonna put it there. If it gets to 280, then I'll move this 5 degrees back. And I should be fairly okay. I want to follow out the 280 radial. If I follow out the 280 radial, then I'm on the 280 heading. Or course, I should say. Heading is something else. Meaning that I'll be okay. And that I'll be intercepting the VOR on destination pretty much on the course I want to be. See, this is slowly turning back, drifting back, so the 28 radial is over there and I'm basically coming towards it, and then I want to intercept it again. There she is. Now I'm at 275 magnetic. If it starts to drift back to here, then I'll take a couple of degrees off. If it continues to drift over there, then I have to add more. With this crosswind, I'm expecting to move it back, to the left. If it does, I will also put 3 degrees left, or something like that. This way, if you would look at this as a compass rose from the airport that we just left from, I want to ride the 280 radial out of that airport, meaning that my course is also 280. Everything's in the green, everything is fine. Yeah, it's moving ever so slightly. So ever so slightly I'm doing 3 degrees to the left. That radial going. Greenwich Mean Time, this is local time, 6:32. This is my ground speed. I'll take ground speed for now. Let's see what ground speed I can make when I go over to cruise. This can go off. Oh, just a bit. Just a bit to light up this bit. I'm gonna go level at 8,000 feet. That's where my manifold pressure of 21 can be held. take 2200 on the RPM. Hold altitude. And a bit will be nice. The right has a bit more oomph, so I'll put that back also to 21. Get my RPMs back to 22. And lean this one out. Say to 13, rough at 11, stable at 12, rough at 11, stable at 12. You can do all kinds of stuff with lean finders and this tool here, this thingamajig, but nothing works better than your ears. Find that it's running rough, then just add a bit and then you're top of lean. If now look at the analyzer, I'm betting nice and green. I don't need no machine to tell me how to, or computer to tell me how. This one is moving a bit to the right now. So 2 degrees right again. 274, 273, that's okay. And we are in a cruise, and my ground speed is 160, meaning indicated 180. I've got a 20 knots headwind component, 18 knots headwind component. That's quite fierce. It's a bit of a bummer. This heading we should be going straight over Casco Cove. There it is. Another of the Aleutian chain islands. And still part of Alaska. That's the last island, the final island of the Aleutian chain before we hit landfall in Kamchatka. .184, 176, 67, 67. So roughly 80 knots on the nose. Doable. Not ideal, but doable. Sinking the engines. All good. Now for some ease on the ice. Will do. Isn't this nice? Okay, we are set on cruise. We are on good heading. I think leaving the 280 radial a bit. Crossing Casco Cove. There it is. Also an airfield. Airfield looks like. Didn't know there was an airfield here. Checking. Yeah, indeed. Casco Cove indeed has an airport. PAAT. Wonderful. Good for them. So I'm expecting around dawn to be making landfall. For now, I'm confident that we're on our way. So I will pause the recording and come back with you at descent, or A2A throws a curveball at me. We'll see what happens. Okay. See you later. Right. And we are back. We are 2 hours in the flight. And we are in no man's land. There is no reception on either the station we're coming from, Shemya Island, Ericsson Airbase, nor is there coming something from Yelizovo at Kamchatka. We are officially in no man's land, and what we can do now is basically, up until that we lost our communications with the Shemya Island VOR, we were on the radial 280, so I can trust on that. Now if the wind doesn't shift too bad, then I will be on course correctly. When we get into range, and I will get back after pausing again, then we will see how much off course we are, and of course then we will correct if necessary, but we still haven't got anything here, and I don't think there's an NDB or anything on the land that may have a larger range. There is. There's a DME station 109 and NDB station at Kamchatka 710.0. No, this is the one before. Let's 710. Nope, not in range. So in any case, I don't know. And 109 Shemya Island has the same DME range at Kamchatka. So maybe if it comes in range, but then again, this one will come in range very soon. Now, as far as the engines go, they are smooth as butter. So the fixing of cylinder 1 on the left-hand engine worked, helped. Everything is smooth sailing, running smoothly. Temps are good, pressures are good. So yeah, all in all, I'm not complaining, but we are not yet in range of other stations. So we are really in no man's land. Over the Bering Straits. We have passed the last Alaskan island some time ago on the Aleutian chain. Excuse me. Yeah, so next stop is Kamchatka, Russia. And yeah, we'll see when that is. I think the projected flight time was 3 hours 15. We are 2 hours on the way, so that would suggest that in 1 hour we would reach mainland. So yeah, we will see. So, short update. I'm gonna pause this again, the recording, because, well, apart from this, there's really nothing going on. So, won't bore you with that. See you soon. And we are back. And we have a signal. On Yelizovo we have a signal on DME. 126 miles, ground speed 192. I didn't consider it, but we've crossed the international date line, so it's now again 5:54. It was like 6 or 7. So instead of yesterday, it is now today, but 12 hours ahead of GMT, so 11 hours ahead of me. It's Dutch time, so yeah, makes the head hurt. And well, this is nigh perfect on the course. So what I'm gonna do now is set this and then set it to nav, because now I can find and track the nav station. That's a big load off. There's no sign yet on DME, maybe? No, DME station. Oh yeah, there it is, 110. And our destination is 122. So 12 miles in front of that is this station. I don't need that now. So what I'm gonna do is also set this one. This one now. Steer clear. And it's already perfectly set. That frees me to, when we're coming upon it, to put the ILS frequency over here in F1, because that has a that can tune the autopilot on it, and if not, I can do it here on the old style one. Doesn't really matter, but usually I just prefer to put it on the first on VOR1 radio than F1 radio. Alright, fuel's good, engines are good, all the T's and P's are in the green. Long flight. I may not have recorded it, but I am still here for 3.5 hours, so just checking the everything and the gyro drift and just seeing where we're going. This is going down again, which is weird. Temperature inside. Anyway, we are nearing the end of our trip and having crossed basically the Bering Strait. 36 minutes. We'll top up a bit of course because we'll slow down for landing. I tend to see a mountain rising up here from the fogginess. That's the tip of the peninsula over there. No, it's not the tip. It's on the side, a mountainous side thing. Again, in early days, FSX Aerosoft have a wonderful scenery here in the Kamchatka Lost region. They call this very nice, but alas, no more for flight sim, although it looks fantastic now out of the box, of course. Okay, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna look up some other frequencies. I want this one, 920, because that leads me into the runway. ILS 920, and the ILS itself is 1087. There's no standby frequency on these radios, so that's a bit of a bummer. So 1087. Okay. I've got a tracking to nav, I'll keep it there. 1087, I'll keep it in mind. And the other one was 920. That will guide me towards a point within the ILS cone. Yep. Using a bit of little nav map just to get these frequencies, because I forgot to just write them up. Normally I do that. The fun thing about flying without GPS, of course, is also not using the little nav map. Right. Meanwhile, playing a little game on my phone, and then we'll go nuts. Right. Reset barometric pressure. That's gone down a bit. It's kind of a bright night. That's nice compared with all the heavy wind, heavy shower stuff that we encountered along the way, crossing from the Bering Strait over from Alaska. And luckily from Yelisovo on we'll only be heading southward, so we'll eventually lose all the cold and all the preheating needed to get the aircraft operational. It will add a lot of more mosquitoes, I guess. I'm guessing there's not a lot of mosquitoes in this area, in these regions. Aircraft is kind of dirty already. Yeah. But I'm resisting the urge to clean it. Because, well, that's part of the year flying, right? Let's see if I can overhaul and clean by the end I get to Gold Coast, Australia. And by then I'll see what I will do. If I continue this trip, people. Childish. Childish, totally childish. Yeah, maybe I'll continue. Maybe I'll be sick to death by the Aerostar by then. Who knows? I do like this old school navigational stuff though. It's too... We're too accustomed to... I am too accustomed to GPS. I like FMSs in the tube liners, in the Leonardo Mad Dog, and in the RJ85. I fly a lot. In the airliner stuff, but in the GA stuff, I really should stay off the GPS stuff, because this is so much more engaging. I hope that by the time I get to Japan, I'll just go VFR. Now this, even these VOR and NDB radios are a necessity, because all I get is darkness and water. I thought I would be landing by dawn, but I'm so far up north, and well, being winter and all, I doubt the sun will come up. I think it's around 9, maybe even 10 o'clock local that the sun will come up here. It's now 6 local. And what I like about the Aerostar, it's a 1960s aircraft, so it doesn't have all this modern glass stuff in it. You can choose to do it by importing a GNS or GPS or GTN or whatever they're all called, or even the old freestyle KLN 90B, which we can download for free nowadays from Reddit, I think. But why would we? Why not just go radials and directions and plan like that. Or just go VFR. Sneak peek at the Japanese map. I could do the whole of Japan on VFR just by following a coast. It's not a straight line, but who cares? Then some islands, then to Taiwan probably, and from there the Philippines. Maybe Borneo, but in the end, no, I can just skip Borneo, just go to Indonesian islands and then Papua New Guinea. And then from Port Moresby down along the coast of Australia. Maybe first to Darwin, then follow the coast. Then who would need GPS and who would need VOR radios? Basically it's just timing, like, okay, I need to follow the coast for 2 hours, and after 2 hours I will find the first airport that I come across and land there. "27 minutes on cruise power. Time to station. And the NDB is set at 920 kHz. This is not reacting as yet. If it responds, this arrow will move, will move forward as in you're going towards it. And from there we'll pick up the ILS, which is at 108.7. Maybe I don't need the ILS. I think the runway is lighted. And looking at this, the weather is clear. See some mountains coming up in the distance. Kamchatka is a really wild region as well. Lots of mountains, volcanoes, forests. Very wild and unexplored territory, which I loved in the old FSX with the Aerosoft scenery of it. We even have a small base, we meaning our VA, Andres Meridian, has a small base at Yelisovo. Nothing much, it's not a hub like we have in other parts of the world, because well, there's not a lot of hubbing to do over here. But it is of course fun to we have a little gag in the airline that if you wreck an airplane too much or forget passengers on the tarmac or stuff like that, you go to rehabilitation training with Olga in Yelisovo, in Kamchatka. I think we even have an Antonov 2 station there for just chartering stuff. Anyway, our little VA has some flying club tendencies in it, which we love. Oh god, I'm tired. It's not something I love to do it, but it is tiring to fly 3.5 hours. I generally don't use time compression. Again, because it takes away immersion. That's what I get from flying in the sim, immersion. And aircraft that add to that immersion, like the Aerostar or the Comanche. Or the Leonardo Mad Dog, the Chaos DA-40, DA-42, excellent aircraft, really excellent aircraft that have a soul and some persistence and wear and tear, instead of just an aircraft to fly. That will never break down on you, that it will never accumulate dirt, that will never do anything except fly very correctly, because the sim nowadays is, yeah, I find it rather correct on behavior, both on the ground physics as on the flying physics. There's still some very poor stuff in the default library and in the third-party stuff that you can find, but there are true gems out there like this one, like this Aerostar, but also like the A2A Comanche and the other stuff I just mentioned. That said, flying for 3.5 hours over nothing but featureless ocean in the dark can be a bit tiring. Hello, moon. So we're going to Petropavlovsk or Yelizovo airport. It's an old Russian, well, Soviet era airbase and airport in one. So a lot of stands there for military aircraft, hangars and stuff. There's even a taxiway in through a forest where also hard stands are located as a camouflage thing. Again, I think Aerosoft have a very nice rendition of that in the old days, but now they don't have any more. I don't even know. I'm gonna check real quick. If Yelizovo is... Yeah, there is a enhancement pack for it for 2020. I should install that. There's 4 actually. Oh, I have installed something, but it's not suited for 2024, only for 2020. Enhancement pack. Yeah, it's only 2020. I haven't installed, I have downloaded some of this stuff I see on flightsim.io. But I don't think it's active at the moment. Forgot about it. Make a note of that and activate it for leaving here towards Japan. Which I have no clue yet how I will go about that. Do I go in one go? That's a long flight. I think that's 700 miles or something. Or stop somewhere on the Kurils halfway, if possible. We'll have to check that and see what I do. Probably do it tomorrow. I still have a week off, so from work. So I can make plenty of headway. Okay, this is this mountainous outcropping peninsula. And I think the lights in the back over there is the town south of Yelizovo. Oh, it's Russian named in little F map, so I have no clue how to pronounce it. Kalatirka airport is over there, so maybe that's how it's called, Kalatirka. We're flying out, of course, towards the nav station, and the nav station is to the north of the field, but we're going towards runway 34, either left or right, probably left, and that's of course on the southern side of the field. So when the NDB comes up, then I'll follow that, and I'll leave the nav beacon for what it is, just for distance measuring. I'm going nice and quick though. The whole wind stuff is done. See, our indicated airspeed is 190 and our ground speed is even 194. So all that headwind that we had on the Bering Sea, it's basically gone away. or is so low that with our density altitude we are making up for it. Eerie landscape with this moonlight. Very cool though. Yeah, call me a sucker, but this is actually what I like to fly in the sim. I like to fly a lot of rugged terrain like Alaska, Papua New Guinea. This bit here. There's in this area there's two little airports. You know, Papua New Guinea. There's basically every 5 to 10 miles, even if they're very hard to land at, but they are there. Alaska the same. It's very airport oriented. This area is completely, this is the moon. But I love flying over rugged stuff. Rugged terrain. Check the drift, 279er. 279er set. Alright, I'm roughly at 8,000 feet. With the rule of thumb of birds, that would mean start my descent at 24 miles out to get to zero. I won't have to go to zero. Still have the approach to do, but let's keep 24-25 miles as a nice point to start my descent. Very glad that the navigational stuff in the dead zone went okay. You know, if the wind would have shifted substantially in that zone, then we would have come out on a very different position. And had we picked up, wouldn't have been that bad that we wouldn't have picked up the airport and its station. But it could have been bad enough that we had to correct a lot of course, but it was almost spot on. Very nice. Forgot to set my with transponders off. That's stupid. Well, we're not in the US anymore. Although Japan also uses 1200, I think. Alright, we have the town over there, the only town as you can see. And you have some volcanoes over there. I think the airport is located behind those mountains at the top north end of the bay. That's where we're at, so that's where we're heading. Now if the NDB is a very low powered one that only has a range around say 10 miles, the moon is bright enough so that I can skirt the bay and then do a visual approach into 34 left. Let's see. aircraft is very fuel efficient, I must add. I loaded it up completely, thinking, okay, wow, you know, this is gonna take quite some fuel. But leaned her back to, well, let's say, 2 times 12 gallons an hour. And she has big fuel tanks. So, I loaded her up completely. But there's 40 liters out of the main tank, the fuselage tank. And the wing tanks. A bit faster. Normal wing capacity would be 470-ish. Now there's 230 left. So half the wing tanks. And a quarter, not even that, on the fuselage tank. For a 3.5 hour flight. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Quick look at the engines. Look at them per. Proper going, really proper going. Electric's all good. Yeah. I like it. I still think she's ugly. Can't help it. The wing is a bit too small, but I get why. Because that adds for the speed, but the belly is too deep and the nose is too long. Makes it look ungainly. But I'm guessing from a travel perspective, this aircraft has not many competitors in the piston engine range. Cessna 310, but the Cessna 310 lacks 2 seats. Smaller, a lot smaller even. Beechcroft Duke, perhaps. Other than that, you'll go and get into turboprop country. Which is, of course, for real world pilots a thing, because then you have to convert your license from a multi-engine piston to a multi-engine turbine, which is of course expensive. Multi-engine piston is already very expensive to fly on compared to single engine. But a multi-engine turbine aircraft, you have to take lessons on that to get your certification. And a minimum amount of hours and a minimum amount of landing, so ka-ching. If you don't have to do that, if you just take a single engine piston license and then get a multi-engine license, which, well, is still expensive. I think you have to do roughly 10 hours on that, plus the landings in it. So landings cost money, at least in Europe, or at least in the Netherlands. I would say for a multi-engine that would likely be 250 euros an hour, 10 hours, so that's 2,500 euros, just for an addition to your little paper. 30 miles out, and still no sign of the NDB. And I'm crossing into that mountain over there. So if at 25 I don't have a signal yet, I'm gonna steer a bit to the left and start my descent. made the other side. How very cool. This isn't a big thing when you do this with an airliner, with a tube liner or a fast jet. But it is something to do with an aircraft like this, which also has, well, intricacies like defects, unforeseen circumstances, like we had from Adak to Shemya, with the number one engine losing a cylinder. I'm recording most of my flights, so I recorded that one as well. So if you follow this one, go to the A2A Discord. Yeah, I'm gonna go to heading. I'm gonna steer west. And on their Discord there's a thread for all the people that do, well, basically an A2A challenge here to see how the aircraft evolves. It's either via the Comanche or via the Aerostar. And I'm documenting my story over there. So the whole shebang will go there with screenshots, with pictures. Well, I've got a picture program running, so that's what the sound that you hear. To the screenshot. Okay, so you see there the outlining of the town. I guess that's the town called Kamchatka. It's along the bay. You see that's a bay over here. The built up areas alongside it, and somewhere here is the airport. I'm gonna descend. Throttle back a bit, so not overspeed. Direct fact engine, so no carburetor heat to think about. This inside air temperature thing is rough to arrange. It's either blithering hot or freezing cold. Okay, full mixture. Can't discern the airport yet. And I'll tune the ILS now. 108.7. Runway 34, I don't know the exact heading, so I'll put it on 34 and we'll make do. Put this DV still on, so I know roughly the distance to the field. Terrain is quite high already here. This doesn't look like 4,000 feet. It looks lower. Hold altitude. Still no signal on the NDB. I would expect it by now. Because I think that is the airfield. Okay, slowing down. Multiply it off. Let's do this on visual. And I know that going north from the top of the bay gets you to the airport. So let the airport airflow slow down. We're going for runway 34 left. I'm not getting a signal on that either. I would expect 108.7 to register by now. No matter. It's a clear night. We'll find it. I'm guessing this is it. Over here. Landing lights on. Yeah, it's definitely a runway. You can see the relay lights. So basically we're entering base pattern. Nothing. Okay, gear down. Flaps 10. One, two, three. 3 greens. Pumps on. Flaps 20. Like a shallow final than a actual base to final leg. Base is a leg, not a turn. Be that as it may. I don't think this ILS is running same as the NDB guiding me onto it, because that should surely be on now. have some questions about the audio panel though, because the marker stuff and the marker stuff is working. Here it is. I set it and now it's working. But also the audio from the it's not giving me beeps. I'd expect audio feedback from the stations. Flaps 30. Long runway, so that should be good. Won't have to go to full flaps. Full flaps is nice for shorter runways, but I find that it also very much slows down the aircraft. And with this small wing, high wing loading factor, I like a bit higher speed. I'm sure we'll come across runways. I can pick some in the trip. Where full flaps are needed. But for now this is good. Very nice. Little bit of trim up. Okay, throttle off. Keep her flying, keep her flying, keep flying. Keep her off, keep her off, keep her off. There we go. Again, applause. That's the PREP tool that we use. I can turn those sounds off, but then other sounds also turn off. And I don't like the applause, but I do like the other sounds. So it's a give or take. Let's let it roll out. In the meantime, get the flaps up already. Nice flight, all in all. Oh yeah, I have to rearrange those nose wheel steering settings. I'll do that after the flight. One of the fun things I find about this airfield, there's two runways here, and you don't see it, but there's a lot of holdings along the side for military stuff. But to get to the normal terminal, you have to basically move through the forest. There's a taxiway, long taxiway through the forest, which also branches off into hard stands, military hard stands, and there you'll find the terminal. I find it very cool for an airport. Something different. Expect this height difference here. Where did this come from? Yeah, see, I really have to look at these nose wheel settings. This altitude difference, this is weird for me. Never experienced that. So here you see all these taxiways into the hardstand stuff between the trees. It's all camouflaged and hidden away. Very nice feature of this airfield. Oh my, this is definitely not okay. This is weird stuff. Yeah, get an Aleutian over there. Or a 777 or whatever it is, over that hump. I have to take a look at that. Maybe I do have one of those add-ons installed. And that's giving me the issues because they are not approved for 2024 flight sim, only for 2020. Yeah, because these lights are definitely not default. And here we are. And this is closure. This is, well, welcome to Russia. And we've crossed the Bering Straits. Cool shot, cool stuff, cool stuff. Okay, I will check this environment stuff because this is a bit harsh. You can't expect a tube liner to climb this. So this is, yeah, I'll have to take a look at my scenery over here. I won't want to take that hurdle tomorrow when I continue. This was the flight across the Bering Straits, and when I look at, let's first close my flight on the VA stuff. So then we're done. If I now open this one, yes. See what we did in 3 days. Started here at Whitehorse, went on to McCarthy, then to what is it? Anchorage, King Salmon, to Unalaska, Adak, because I wanted to do this, but then the weather got shit around here, so we diverted to Adak. Went from Adak to Shemya, but we had an engine stuffy here over here, and now we did this. See what we did? This course was almost exactly okay. Here we picked it up. Yeah, great. Next flight. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. If I take a new one, set it overdose departure. Let's say if I would go to Japan in one go. Nakashibe? Nakashibetsu? What is it? It's a bit small. It's a small airfield. And the slightly larger one is Minonsubetsu. Yeah, this is a larger one. So this is destination. Almost 800 miles. 4-hour flight. Doable. Doable. There's not a whole lot in between here. There's some small field over here. There's a small field over here. You know, if I go here, I might as well continue on. Kurilsk, yeah, it's all small stuff. What I am going to do though is make it visual. No, first I'm gonna do the flight plan and calculate close. So now we have got a station in between here on the Kurils. And what I could do is a visual on this one, this little island. It has a mountain on it, so that's I can take this one, add the flight plan. This is a peak, so if the weather is clear, I would be able to see it. Then I can just follow these islands, follow the Kuril Islands out, head towards the point. Yeah, I don't need that because we're high enough to see that. In between a peak here. This is all visually done. We can do this all visually. I can even follow the islands instead of doing the straight line. And then it takes a station here and then the airfield. Yeah, excellent. This is gonna be my next flight. And it will be a 4-hour flight. So if I do this tomorrow, I'll do it in one go. Save it. This is gonna be tomorrow, and now it's gonna be south, 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 because then we're still just below the Arctic. Then it's gonna get lighter and less cold, and preheating the aircraft won't take ages. Cool, very cool. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you on the next time on this grand tour with the A2A Simulations Aerostar. Thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.